this is John from coolsmartphone.com, and today we're going to look at the Grace Digital Mondo internet radio. This was my first experience of an internet radio, so I was keen to see what the differences are between the traditional DAB and FM style radios. So let's take a look. Rather than using the airwaves to deliver your radio signal, this Grace Digital Internet Radio uses your Wi-Fi, as you might expect. That means the first thing you have to do before you can use it is configure it to use your Wi-Fi hotspot. The process itself is quite straightforward, although because you have to use the dial on the front of the radio, it is quite fiddly, especially if you've got a combination of uppercase and lowercase characters. But after you get it sorted once, it will remember your settings, so it's part of the initial process rather than having to do it every time you want to listen to the radio. Because it uses the internet to provide the music, one of the first things you'll notice about the internet radio when compared to the traditional FM or DAB radio is it takes a few moments to actually get music to you. What it has to do is to connect through to the internet station, it has to start then buffering the music and then it plays it. Obviously if you've got a slower internet connection this might take slightly longer, and we're just going to demonstrate that by turning on the radio. So it's now connecting through to radio 2, it's connected and now starts buffering and then starts playing. And if we change the channel, see it has to connect and then buffer again and then it's away. And again, it has to connect, buffer, and then you're away. It's not an horrendously long wait, it's just something that you have to bear in mind. One of the advantages that internet radio has over traditional radio is the sheer quantity of stations that are available to you. I'm just going to demonstrate some of this to you now. From the home screen of the radio, we've got an option to choose internet radio. So we'll select that, and we can see we've got a number of different choices. If we choose location, we literally get a list of lots of different countries, and these contain radio stations from all over the world. So there's a huge amount. So for example we wanted a Swedish radio station, we'll click on Sweden, and we can see all the stations there. We can see we've got 148 different Swedish radio stations. We can just select it, it connects, and it buffers, and it plays. If we want to change language, go back to the internet radio stations, and this time we'll choose a different genre, and we want some 60s music. Choose that, all stations, 235 stations currently playing 60s music. Let's choose some Beatles, connects, buffers, and plays. Of course, you might just want quick access to your local radio stations, and this Grace Digital Radio provides a nice app on its homepage, which is called Local. So if we select that, what it does is, because you're connected to the internet, it knows your rough location. So it's able to then select all the commercial and BBC radio stations which are local to you. And we see it's found those really quickly, and we can just select, for example, the BBC Lincolnshire station, connects, then buffers, and then we'll start playing. This is a nice feature, so not only have you got the accessibility to all the worldwide stations, if you want to listen to something local to you, finding that is automatically ring-fenced for you. As you might expect from a connected radio, there are a number of additional services which probably might not be available on existing media. So if we have a look at some of these, we'll go into the music services section. We'll see that there's a number of various online providers, including some well-known ones like Pandora, Rhapsody. You can also access some podcasts on there as well. So you can see we've got all the BBC podcasts available rapidly. One of the nice additional features of this Grace Digital Radio is the ability to use it as a media hub to play your own media. And if we go into the media player section on the home screen, you'll see that we've got the option of either connecting up a USB device to play songs or linking up to a UPnP server. It is actually quite a nice feature to have, and it means that your music is accessible to you perhaps in other rooms where you wouldn't normally be able to play it. A couple of other nice features on this radio is the ability to create an alarm, so you can actually use it as an alarm clock, and also it has a nice weather widget which when loads shows you a nice outlook and forecast for the week ahead. Ultimately though, it's going to be down to audio quality, and I've yet to be convinced by the overall quality of a DAB radio, and personally I think that the FM signal still delivers a better, clearer signal, and I've also found DAB to be unreliable. So far with this Grace digital radio, I've been impressed with the overall audio quality, and so far its list of stations has been very reliable. I've yet to not be able to connect up to a station through the main menu. So you've got this wide choice of radio stations delivering at a high quality sound, which is very good. Of course, what you can't do is easily take this device with you, because it's dependent on a Wi-Fi signal. So with every new location you go to, you're going to have to reconfigure it for that Wi-Fi. So against a traditional radio, it has a number of advantages in its reliability, its huge radio selection, music type choice, but you need to be aware that it will not travel with you. It will need to have a Wi-Fi hotspot available wherever you go. But in the home, I do think that this is a really good option for those people who want an alternative choice of radio in the home. So as long as you have an internet connection available, then I heartily recommend the Grace Digital Mondo Internet Radio. It's a good all-round option for listening to radio or your own media in your own home.